10 seconds left. Decided? 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time.
It's been a while again, but hopefully this one should be a little bit
Radiant team's
close. I
turn to
mean,
pick.
looking at Imperial lately, they've just been tearing everyone apart, and Comanche aren't exactly a
Drow Ranger.
solid roster.
Great, they're
Let's say,
back.
like they've had a lot of
Dire team ban.
ins and outs with different people. So you know, all the smart money is going to say Imperial, but you know, best of three single elimination, you may or may not get cheesed out. So we'll just have to see.
10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
I did not see it, so I
Radiant
cannot
team
help.
ban. Dire team's turn to ban. Radiant team's turn to ban. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
Yeah, I mean, this is still pretty standard stuff. We've seen Imperial run a
Reserve
whole bunch of
time.
things, and this is just, you know, going to be just one of those things. So not much you could say off of this, aside from the fact that they have the pushing power with the Drow Ranger and the
Dire
initiation power
team's
of the
turn to
Bat
pick.
Rider. Yeah, they're both ranged, whatever, in laning phase. It's kind of nice, but it is looking like they have the position where they can go in for a really early game. Timing push, was why we see the Storm and the Sniper both being banned out as well. For Comanche, Sand King and Io is an interesting way
10
to kind of
seconds
counter
remaining.
this, just by trying to find those heroes when they're off on their own, trying to get the
5
initiation
seconds
on them.
remaining.
May or may not work depending on how grouped together Imperial are, and Imperial do have Gust, and Batrider's pretty good at
Reserve
handling
time.
IOs as well. So it's going to be up to Comanche to work a little bit harder, I think, than Imperial, because Imperial's draft and game plan, it kind of plays itself.
Warlock.
Radiant team's turn to pick.
Yeah, I would not be surprised at all to see a Rubik. Like as you already outlined, like he is gonna have some pretty ace spells to steal. He's with a Drow Ranger,
10
so
seconds
early
remaining.
on, damage-wise, it's not really going to be a huge shortcoming. He will have right-click
5
damage with the
seconds
telekinesis, and
remaining.
usually that's going to be good enough to get a handful of kills. The only reason I would see them not, okay, never mind. Well, they went ahead and picked
Dire
up a
team's turn to
Rubik.
pick.
You know, all those betting sites. On those betting sites, I don't think you can bet like what hero is going to be picked up when. That's what they got to add,
10
man.
seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
You can't gamble on the winner, but you can gamble. I think there's going to be a third pick Rubik. I'd be okay
Reserve
with that
time.
ethically. I don't know. That's just me.
Slark.
That's not cool, dude.
Radiant team's turn to pick.
I'll split the winnings.
Ten
It's really
seconds
tough to play
remaining.
Batrider in this type of game up against what Comanche have. He's pretty good up against
5
the IO,
seconds
but
remaining.
everyone else, maybe Warlock being an exception, but they typically do have good responses to the Batrider in
Reserve
lane. Like the
time.
Slark IO, if it is going to be that lane, is just going to be a little bit too much for a Batrider to safely stick in that lane. So usually that's not going to happen. Instant Burrow Strike, an immediate Warlock Rock to drop if his buddy gets hit with a lasso. So I mean, there's a lot of ways to get out of that Batrider for
Uh-oh.
Comanche.
I think I
And
just
they have
muted
good heroes
myself
on
for a
Drow
bit.
Ranger too.
I just muted myself. I think people can't hear me. But you can hear me.
I can hear you.
Yeah. I muted myself on the streamer.
Okay, so we should be good then, right?
I will just
Probably.
apologize. Alright, luckily I checked. You know, I always have these like first game of the day jitters where I make some colossal mistake somewhere. But yeah, it's only for 2 minutes.
We weren't saying anything important anyway.
Yeah, won't say anything important. No, we just pointed out how the Rubik was picked. So I have it on record. I did predict the Rubik pick, guys. Third pick Rubik. We're discussing the ethics of casters betting on specific hero pickups at the specific slot. And yeah. But anyway, this should disappear after 2 minutes. And yeah, I'll just say welcome to the Dota 2 Champions League. If you're watching the VOD, you know, welcome. It's powered by Epic Esports events as well as Face It. So yeah, I said those things. And we have a fourth pick, Undying. Yeah, not a fan. But there are a lot of melee heroes on Comanche. There is a Warlock and Io to knock away at the Tombstone, but they're not the most frontline guys that want to run in and poke at that tomb. So it could be strong here. It's really good with Rubik as well. But it's feeding Slug, I feel. You know, Slug just pops into ulti and then gets a few $100.
Yeah, I mean, tombstone-wise, that is going to be somewhat of a concern. The probably bigger deal here is just like the early game control that you get with the Undying. They don't really, you know, need to smash any probably offensive tri-lanes or anything like that from Comanche. That's probably not a big deal. But what the Imperial really do need to do is make sure that the Drow Ranger stays farming. If they can, make sure the Batrider keeps farming as well. And that's really what Undying is going to be there for. Like, you're looking at a Comanche lineup that is going to be running a support Io, obviously, and a support Warlock. And as far as their ability to fight early on, Io's is 0, Warlock is limited at best. So the Imperial can really get things off quickly, aggressively. You know, Sand King and Slark are only okay at fighting early.
Well, I did see one Warlock game yesterday. You know, usually the whole mode of operation is you just wait around the rock. Meanwhile, you have small pickoffs around the map, but usually you have that rock and then take a big objective. After that, the Fatal Bonds just makes it really hard for teams to stay alive. In mid Luna, wow,
Dire team's turn to pick.
that is something else. Or is it a mid Drow? I think.
I mean, they have Undying Rubik. It's a non-zero chance we have some offensive tri-lane stuff. They honestly can just throw their lanes in however they want. Like, if you're looking at Comanche right now, the probably worst case scenario is your mid, like, Luna is going to go up against a mid Warlock. But even then, that's not that bad. Like, Luna has enough base damage to handle that. Yeah, she's going to be chipped at a lot, but with a Rubik Aura and Undying occasionally rotating in, plus the Aura from the Drow Ranger, should be able to handle that lane. So, yeah, Imperial can really lane this actually however they want. They should probably try to match the Undying with the Io, though.
What do you mean by match the Undying with the Io?
Make sure whatever lane the Io is going to end up in is also a lane where the Undying is in. That's
so
where
you say
apply the
put
most pressure.
Undying on that Io?
Yeah,
or
make
put
sure that
Io on
the
that
Undying
Undying.
is following the Io.
Okay, it doesn't make sense the other way, but yeah, okay. Yeah, Undying needs to be played aggressively, so it could be a Batrider mid. Okay, we might be overlooking this. It might be a Drow safe lane alone if that off against the Sand King, or then a Luna Undying Rubik top. I don't know.
10 seconds remaining.
There's definitely a chance for that. Like, it's maybe punishable at this point, but I don't really see a way for Comanche to
Oh yeah, with a
things
Beastmaster,
really
I
get
think
punished.
they definitely can go for this. But it's a Beastmaster mid, so Comanche, they see this greedy mid that's going to be coming out here for Imperial. It's either, yeah, I don't think Joe's the mid player, I can't remember. But yeah, it's going to be one of those funky ones, right? Batrider, Luna, that will be mid. If it is Bat mid, that means one of their lanes are going to be funky for Imperial. you have to, yeah, so Drow is going mid. So mid Drow, maybe aggro tri-lane with that Rubik Undying. You say put the screws on the IO. That could be the way. Bat Rider is going to be on that safe lane, maybe deal with this Beastmaster. And Comanche, sensing this potential weak off lane to challenge, will pick up something that can make use of that.
10 seconds remaining.
All right, so the Drow versus Beastmaster matchup should be
5 seconds
probably
remaining.
pretty common for both sides. Like, you know, Beastmaster's taking chip damage until level 6 happens. No one should really be going down there, so you know that lane should be kind of slow. The offensive tri-lane is going to be pretty tough for Comanche to deal with. Just Slark is not really a good hero to have in those situations. He's being chipped at by, you know, a Luna and a Rubik, and then suddenly when they want to, they drop a Tombstone or they start going in with the Undying. It'll be hard to kill the Slark, but just keeping Slark from farming is good enough for Imperial, so they can definitely get away with this, I think.
Alright, so mid Drow, Baby Knight picking up those funky, no, may not be picking up funky heroes today, but he will be picking up funky lanes. So we'll have the run through. Comanche gonna have Evgeny on the Sand King, played it yesterday. LTW on the Slot Chew on the Warlock, Pikachu on the Beastmaster, and Misha on the IO. Yesterday we had Soneko standing for them. And Imperial will have Ace on the Luna, Baby Knight on the Drow, Haste Joe on the Bat Rider, we have Noya on the Undying, and Rise will be playing the Rubik. So, all hail Rubik, my favorite.
Rubik's pretty darn good here. Like, we saw a Slark pick and a Beastmaster pick after the Rubik. Beastmaster is great to steal stuff from his Rubik. If you can get Roar, that's great, but, you know, just the Hawk is actually surprisingly good because the enemies may just not expect you to have vision in the places where your Hawk is. So it is going to be Rise with kind of a field day Rubik game. And for Imperial, it doesn't seem like they're going to try to do anything too cute here. Just a nice defensive tri-lane, put Joe up towards top lane. And this is actually going to let Comanche have a little bit more freedom up towards the top because Bat Rider isn't really that great when he's going up against heroes that can poke him, i.e. Warlock, and the hero that can jump him, i.e. Slark, with, of course, the IO there to boot. So should be a rough lane for Joe.
Yeah, it will be a Pikachu mid Beastmaster. So very rarely you see this hero in the middle lane now. Most of the time brought to the off lane because so powerful with that Iron Talon, able to jungle with just to call the Wild Ball. And yeah, mid Beastmaster able to play up against the Drow because Drow is a challengeable mid laner. And you know, something has occurred to me, you know, what if Imperial decide to get a couple of levels in the aggressive tri-lane and decide to 5-man with the Tombstone? What can Comanche do about it? They don't have a lot of wave clear, they have the Beastmaster access, but usually they max Call of the Wild and access will be left at a lower level. So, could be a problem for Comanche if they don't see this coming. A lot of auras here.
And even with mid Beastmasters, usually you want a little bit more, you want to, you know, skill up abilities that help you push more because you want to be able to push out the wave so that you are able to get the runes. Call of the Wild doesn't do that, but Axes and Inner Beast Aura do. So it may not be your kind of quote-unquote standard Beastmaster build where he goes for Call of the Wild because that actually doesn't help him as much in the mid lane as it does in the off lane.
Yeah, I feel like the Hawk, they picked the Beastmaster because the Hawk is going to be great vision to deal with the Bat Rider threat. Having the constant scouts around the map is just really strong here for Imperial. Being able to spot out Bat Rider ganks, you know, really has to put those smoke ganks into use if they want to get any people. With a good coverage of 2 Hawks, you know, it's almost impossible to get the jump on them. It's why heroes like Caudle is so popular now with his ability to see over the hills and everything with his Axe upgrade. And looks like that will be a challenge here. Imperial gonna play rough here. Evgeny, oh, they do not get the rune here on the Luna, and Evgeny will get that bouncy rune for himself. Gonna be very happy about that.
Yeah, and Luna versus Sand King with the Rubik here should be a just fine lane. It is going to be a little bit more interesting now that we have the Warlock actually down here as well. And the Bat Rider still is going up against the Slark, which is kind of a rough matchup for the Bat. IO being there is pretty much negligible, but the extra sustain that you get on this bottom lane from Warlock, the extra harass with Fatal Bonds, you may just be able to go in pretty deep on the Luna once you hit level 3-ish, but just trying to apply some pressure to this farming Luna. It looks like that's going to be pretty free for Comanche as long as they actually wait till they get a couple points of burrow strike to go in.
Yeah. Well, Look at Baby Knight just poke away at Pikachu here. Noya pick up Decay level 1. You know, is this more damaging than good, you know, because I don't see much kill potential till Frost Arrows get up to level 2 maybe. And Undying is sapping the EXP, preventing that level 2 from happening, so I don't know.
You're also stealing his ability to CS, in theory. Just minus damage.
It's still 60 with 3 decay stacks, so I don't know.
I'm not saying it's the right thing to do. I'm just saying it's also kind of happening. It's probably not worth it until you get those Frost Arrows like you're mentioning, but hey, now they do have them, so.
Oh, Beastmaster really has a lot of base attack now that you think about it. Losing 12 strength and still being at 60? That's pretty crazy actually. I think he was buffed a version or 2 ago to have some really high base attack damage.
That's also why Iron Talon is ridiculous, because all that base damage gets Iron Taloned up to get even more. And oh, Arcane Rune for Noya. I mean, Pikachu's doing just fine health-wise right now, but Decay is already pretty cheap, and just got a little bit cheaper.
And faster cooldown, 42. That's gonna be pretty insane. Pikachu might find himself at 200 health if he's not careful. I've seen it once, you know, a hero brought down to like 200-300. One right click just drops a huge chunk out of it. Bottom.
He's dead.
Survives. Has to salve through this. He gets hit by the caustic, so that's the salve down. I think that's home for him. Is he dead? Oh, wow. How much damage does that do? Level 1.
It does a lot of damage.
200
over
damage.
time. They're going on Rubik now. He's dead too.
Good stuff, Chew.
Okay.
Alright. I don't know. I think we watched the Boston major qualifiers, right? And no Warlocks were picked up, but in C, Warlock is picked a lot. And I mean the rest of the world as well. Oh, Baby Knight getting dove here by Pikachu, taking some tower hits. The boar is there to slow him. Pikachu will lose his boar. But yeah, Sand King makes for a really nasty lane partner, especially when you have buddies on the side. But now Sand King not having that Barrel Strike might be in a lot of trouble here. Imperial dedicating heroes down to this bottom lane, and they have that lift ready. The beam comes in. He goes into Sandstorm. He levels up just barely, but the sentry wards are there, so no chance of escape. He does waste that sentry very deep in there though, so space.
They need to get that return kill. They rotate Noya all the way down there, let up on the pressure on Pikachu, and you need to get something out of that. But yeah, getting 2 kills in this bottom lane off of a level 3 Sand King, that is a big deal. Getting the Warlock, that experience is perhaps a bigger deal. Getting closer to that level 6 mark. He's already pushing level 4, and they also got that bonus kill on the bat right up towards the top. Pretty expected, honestly, up against the Slark matchup. But Comanche just striking everywhere at the same time, and Luna is just not a strong hero as far as health pool is concerned. So a Burrow Strike and a Caustic Finale not having a Tango up against the Shadow Words is just a lot of damage that's kind of unpreventable.
Yeah. Alright, Joe meanwhile gonna tether right over Evgeny. That's Sand King putting a lot of work in, but Baby Knight stocking up on Wraith Bands. Has to hit the level 6 before last hitting becomes a okay thing for him, but Baby Knight now might be in trouble. If the ball starts tagging on him, he might be a little bit slow here, but the Rubik is waiting. Nice silence. Gonna start things off, and now there is your Bad Rider pulling in. That's the Rubik as well, and that's the power of the Rubik slash Tombstone. Just so much damage on board. There's the fire. Gonna be burning that Sand King. So the Scorpion takes a fall, and dive gone wrong here for him. Well, for Comanche. And Baby Knight, nice little gust there, does get the disengage going.
I mean, the fact that no one was on the bottom lane to contest Ace when they were contesting him so easily just a moment ago is a really, really big tell for Imperial that someone's in trouble. And most of the time it's going to be Drow, but now it's Ace actually in trouble. I think he's just dead here. Maybe? No, Shadow Word doesn't do that much damage, right?
Might. They have a lot of bonded creeps there, so if they just turn their attention to the creeps, it might work, but Chu is already on a killing spree. And those Fatal Bonds could actually be worked on there. They could kill the Luna if they hit it down fast enough. But I don't think it's going to work. Luna's going to be left on a little bit of health. Will survive. But definitely close. And getting so many kills on the Warlock early is just huge for him. He's already level 4. The faster you hit that rock, the better it gets. Because it's like a It's kind of like a, well, what do you call it? I forgot that term. Investment, passive investment. No. You know, every second you don't use it is wasted. That's what I was trying to get.
You got to get it as soon as possible, just so you can.
Yeah, like Finger
drop
of
more
Death, right? It's so valuable early game, and allows you to make a fight 4v5. And Rock is almost the same thing as well.
Lasso and relocate. Pretty much all these, or we have a lot of those big.
But those are
ultimates in this
big
game.
cooldown ultimates. Those aren't as big cooldown ultimates as Warlocks, and the power level is just about there as well. So Warlock Golem, if you get it early, you know you can get a really early tower, get the cooldown cycle on it a lot sooner. Baby Knight finally hitting level 6, so all the ranged heroes on the Radiant side gonna rejoice here. Luna skipping on Glaives, which does hint towards a very aggressive early game. Skipping on, usually if not, otherwise you might just see 1 point in that Luna Blessing. Now they're gonna dive that tower underneath the tombstone. Might not be the wisest thing to do, but they do bait it out, and baiting it out is perfect here. The beam comes out onto Misha, and I do see a little bit of lag and dying. Deploys that Soul Rip. I'm not sure why the servers are lagging for me. I'm getting those perfect world-ish lags. But wow, a solo kill here, Baby Knight on Beastmaster. Not sure how that
Rider had
happened.
a little bit of help there. Just Napalm slow and Frost Arrow slow, even though it's just level 1. And the Beastmaster is tanky, but he can't actually get out of that. Now they're after Baby Knight. I don't think this is going to happen, though. Definitely not with 2 TBs, but the supports of Imperial are now going to start to mobilize at least a little bit. Like, they showed up over towards that mid lane. When Comanche tried to gank them with the Sand King and the IO, they showed up on bottom lane, got a couple of kills as well. And that's really what the Undying does, right? Like, he just wants to be wherever the fight is, because once he shows up, you probably are going to lose someone by trying to kill off someone else. Like, he's going to make that an even trade until you get to a much higher level. So just good responses from Imperial so far, but I do like how Comanche are trying to buy a lot of space for this Slark. They're really trying to leverage this early game power with the Sand King. They're playing as they should if they want to stop a Drow Luna lineup.
Yeah, Drow lineups need a lot of jumpers, and right now Comanche only have that Sand King after Blink. They have to maybe tech the Slark into that as well. The Beastmaster may get a Blink Dagger, but usually has other items to really want to get, like a Necro Book or Mech. Now looking here in the middle lane, Pikachu back in that middle lane trying to take charge, but Baby Knight has some Frost Arrows for him.
Dire's bottom tower is being chipped
Nope,
away.
just gonna kill
Baby
his
Knight
ball.
Baby Knight's doing just fine, but there's also zero pressure on this Slark. Like, he's on top of the net worth chart just by getting CS in that 1 kill. So Shadowblade, I would imagine, should be coming up pretty soon on this Slark, and that's just going to open up a whole new can of worms for Imperial. Like, they already do have some detection, I guess, which is kind of nice, but you don't want to be playing Drow Ranger or Luna, really, up against a Shadowblade Slark.
Yeah. Alright, Noya, 3 points in the Tombstone, so more dive deterrence. The epicenter is there for Afterni, so you might be looking on a kill for Ace, but
I guess Radiant fortified their structure.
don't really want to go for that.
Radiant's
He gets a little bit too close, just gets lifted up. He is fairly bulky. He's got brain drops and tranquil boots. Has backup kind of nearby in the Warlock.
Radiant's top
Yeah.
tower has looked better.
Meanwhile, Baby
There's an
Knight.
Eclipse here as well.
Eclipse
Okay, now I
might
think
not
he's a
work
little
out
too
for
far.
them because they have the Sandstorm, but now they have the Sentry Walls as well. Afterni, yep, there's the Sandstorm. Gonna get the Disjoint, and Rise is gonna botch that one right up. So no kill, but wow. Wow, am I looking at this right? 91 CS?
Yeah, he's been jungling a little bit, so
Okay.
that's kind of inflated by
Okay,
Mud
okay.
Golems and
I'm
Satyrs and
like,
whatever.
whoa.
But yeah, he's still getting an absolute free time up
Yeah,
against
it's
no
still
one who can
5k to
contest him.
3k8, so they're not looking at it too skewed here, but that's gonna be a really early Shadowblade. He's almost done. That's gonna catch people off guard, this one.
Fortunately for Imperial, they have a Bat Rider, so almost at his Blink Dagger. If he doesn't get jumped by this Shadowblade, and it doesn't look like he should, then, you know, Blink Dagger on Hesta Joe will at least allow Imperial to start fights and force the Slark to kind of use Shadowblade as a response to Bat Rider's initiation. And that's really what you want as Imperial. Get the immediate pick off, and then turn everyone's focus on that Slark who just popped out of Invis.
Alright, I'm gonna take this time to reconnect while there's a DC, because I'm getting those
Sure.
perfect world frame drops, and I don't know what's happening. But yeah,
Alright.
just gonna take this opportunity and jump in. We're gonna get to see this lovely wallpaper that I have. It's the Radiant
on a
mid
shuffle?
lane one. Yeah, got it on the shuffle.
Wallpaper
Alright, just in time.
Oh.
I'm back
You
in.
missed absolutely nothing.
Fantastic. Alright, so afternoon, what's he looking at? Got Tranquils, Windlace, and the Raindrops. So standard stuff here for the Sand King. Ace is going to drop some Lucent Beams on him. Chip away at that, but the Battle Strike comes in. Afternoon using his out here to deal the Luna, but Rubik, not the most punishing hero right now. Without that spell steal, cannot find himself a second spell to steal. But Joe, he's close.
Sand King is getting a lot of experience with the free time here. Although he's going to walk in a little bit too far. Rise is sleeping.
Oh, there's the lift.
I think
Go for the beam. Yeah, they're gonna trap him with the
Eclipse
beam,
gotta
but
land.
is it gonna be a kill though? They force the TP in. There's the rock though, the triple fatal punch and the return battle strike. Here comes the Eclipse. It's just gonna hit on that golem, man. It kills it off, but they're all really low here. And with the burn coming in, one more click should do the job. They heal up. Rise gets hit. They lose a lot of health there as the battle strike comes in. Now that Shadow Blade on Slark gonna be missing on Ace. Does he find it? No, he does not. They do get another kill here for the Warlock though. Just basic right clicking, taking out the Undying, and that's why you really have to evaluate if it's safe to even dive in such a situation under a tier 1 tower, and I believe they will get punished now.
Yeah, it was just a little bit slow on the draw there from the Rubik, a little bit slow on the draw there from the Luna, got burrow struck, mid-eclipse cast, and the Warlock he hasn't been on the map for the past like 2 or 3 minutes, so you have to assume that he has his ultimate by that stage, and he'll off done.
Relocate. My Baby Knight. Pick him off. Let's be careful here. The Barrow Strike goes onto the Bat Rider as well. They tried for the lasso, but now they're gonna get punished. Ace doesn't have his ulti right now. After he can pop that Sandstorm, trying to bail himself out. But Slav getting himself killed there in the thick of things. And Joe does seem to be able to bail his team out with a lot of AoE fire damage. And with all that right click power coming out, they do get the drought, but they lose their Slok in return.
That's an alright trade for Imperial, actually. Like, they don't really need the Drow's damage right now because they have the Luna's damage. The tower's already weakened, so it should be a free tower pick for them. And they pull out the Roar and the Relocate. So Imperial know that they have a lot of downtime where they're not going to fear anything. Warlock's dead also, so there's that. Has to go get a large bounty killing that hero. But it's a lot of downtime where there are no ultimates here for Comanche that are threatening. That means Imperial can start.
Well, the Bat Rider getting a solo kill there. Definitely going to help him towards that 4-staff. Already picking up the Blink at an early time. Another 4-staff would really help with dislocating a hero out of the fight away from his team. But then again, you always have to look out for the Wisp. Nice scans going out. They will find Baby Knight scanned up, fighting in that neutral stack, looking for that level 2 marksmanship. But the Slark's on the prowl here. He does have that gold leap. We'll find Baby Knight here. That attack and on him as well. There's going to be the zombies. Are they going to be enough? Nope. They send the Roar in as well. They get the Battle Strike on the Undying. Gets a free Tombstone. Eclipse comes in, but it's a level 1 Tombstone. And I feel like this jump in is a little bit odd. They will get leashed up again on that Slark. Gets the Lunar kill. LTW already doing really good. Rubik, no chance of steal here. He gets picked by a triple here on the Slark. And things already looking super bad for Imperial. Joe, peace out of there. And yeah, man.
Teleporting all those heroes in one at a time like that's just not how you fight in this game. They drop an immediate Eclipse because there were a lot of heroes there. What they failed to see was that Beastmaster had 2 boars popped up. So the boars took like 2 beams or something like that. And there were just so many heroes that Eclipse wasn't going to kill anyone anyway. So Imperial definitely should have cut their losses there. And Comanche, again, are playing exactly how you should play up against a Drow Ranger draft. Just try to look for those really sneaky pickoffs. And if Imperial are not all together as a full 5-man squad, individually, they are fairly weak heroes. You should be able to take them down very easily. So Comanche leveraging pretty much all their resources, and it's just going to buy time for another Chaotic Offering to come up, which is now up. So they'll have the Chaotic Offering, and they should have another Roar in just 5 seconds. They're ready for another fight, and Imperial really aren't. They need a lot more bulk on these heroes.
That's the thing about winning a big team fight with big cooldown ultimates, is because you spend a lot of time, your enemy spends dying, charging those ultimates, and now Undying getting caught under his tier 1 tower. Should be a no issue kind of case there. Now Joe comes in with the Napalm, but a Blink's already done on a couple of heroes here. like you said, it's a rough day to be a squishy support. The Bat Rider trying to drag the creep wave with fire, but immediately gets locked down by the Sand King. Another roar going onto him. The Sand King will go down to Drow Ranger, Baby Knight, and I don't know why the servers are still giving these spikes, but we do get those kills on the board.
Radiant structures have been snow fortified.
Chu does have his ultimate. He actually canceled it, realized didn't need it on the Bat Rider, so Comanche are still in a pretty good spot to keep pushing in here. Ace does not have an Eclipse just yet, therefore he's not really willing to get into this fight, and Rise cannot protect Baby Knight enough. If they just go in with the Slark, drop a rock on him, and then maybe don't even have to drop a rock on him, then Baby Knight is just dead. Luna arriving now with the Eclipse is going to make that Comanche will disperse, but still they are getting pickoffs where it matters. Slark is getting very, very far ahead. The problem though is that everyone else on their team is still behind the tri-core of Imperial, so Imperial are still getting a decent amount of farm despite having some really rough engagements.
I mean, the gold graph is 1,000 in favor of Comanche. It's not a huge deal. We'll see. Ace picks up the Dragon Lance. Could be looking for a fight here, but he's only level 9, so Eclipse is at level 1, easily soaked up by a couple of Illusion Runes,
Radiant's top
Warlock
tower
Golem,
has looked better.
Summons.
They can
It's
roach
not an
really
easy game.
quickly.
Talking about Imperial?
Radiant's top tower has
That would be
fallen.
so cheeky. Not be easy to handle. But now, Slug as well as Misha gonna run down here. They drop the sentry ward. They see LTW. There's gonna be the lasso, but the Dark Pack's already there. So it will not be a kill there with the Eclipse, and they even pull him back with the Wisp. So there will be no kill here on the Slug.
Tower deserves just as much help as bottom.
Protection a little bit too slow.
IO should just die here. Yeah.
Radiant's top tower
That was
is under
very, very
attack.
quick reaction time from the Slark, just jamming that Dark Pack button. They dropped the silence on him, they dropped the lasso on him, and lifted him. He just packed it all off and got relocated out. So I like the move for Imperial, but unfortunately they're just a little bit too slow on the draw. If perhaps the Bat Rider was, get a Firefly just a second earlier, they could have seen everything. But then the Slark would have realized that there was no Shadow Dance passive. It's really a tough kill to get, even with such a good jump.
Yeah. And 4 stuff is going to be done now for the Bat Rider. Oh, LTW meanwhile finds him, so as I say, he's got it. He's 1 goal short. Does he buy it now? Doesn't have time for shopping. The Sand King is there to punish. And now 8 to 14. But if you guys are just tuning in, the scoreboard is a little bit weird right now. It does... it is meant to be played in a BO3. So Imperial has 1 more chance, I guess, after this, if they do drop it.
Not looking that great for Imperial. Like, a Drow Luna draft has so far only taken 1 tower. They're not going to have the opportunity to take Roshan. Obviously, Comanche pretty much have that one in the bag already, so their late game is pretty reasonable. Imperial BKBs are incredibly potent up against Comanche. Despite having BKB piercing tools, Warlock Rock, the Roar, whatnot, they just need to get farm, get gold really any way they can, and if they kind of spread out from this 5-man, then they put themselves at risk. So the situation arises where Imperial kind of have to stay together, yet they still need farm on a lot of heroes, and that's just at a certain point not possible. They have to take some risks in order to get their money.
Yeah. Oh. Imperial do a lot better than that, because they're about to lose another tower, and there is a Echo Saber Shadow Blade slot 19 minutes into the game with Aegis. This is looking rough.
Radiant have fortified their structures.
Can't really afford to kill him first, because pop right back up. You can't really afford to kill him last, because then he'll be killing you the entire time.
Dire snow fortified
Imperial should
their
just be like
structures.
doing this, avoiding fights. And they still have all this damage, 52 from the Drow. She has a Shadow Blade, Ace has a Hurricane Pike, so they do have a couple of good tools now at their disposal, Imperial, but at a certain point,
Radiant structures are fortified.
Oh, they catch the Sand King. This could be huge for them. Is that relocate out? Oh, not gonna be the case. The Fate Ball comes in. Now the Slot dropping low once again. Could be a throw here if he's not careful. The rock comes down. There's the Fatal Bonds doing so much damage. There's going to be the Slot losing his life once. He comes back for a second round. I'm not sure they are ready for this. Immediately jamming on that Dark Pack. Really wants to get the health ready. And yeah, gonna start regenning his lost HP. Noya keeping his team in the game. Holding Ravage.
Beating on Dire's top tower.
it was actually a really good fight there for Imperial. They pull out the Warlock ult, a couple of ults there, and relocate, roar, whatnot, but they take off the Aegis, they kill off the Sand King, and only lose their Luna. It's not a trade they're going to be excited to make, since still they're failing to effectively deal with the Slark, and Sunny has PKB. But yeah, Comanche just going in a little bit too deep there, especially that Sand King. Like, yeah, you can dive tier 1s, I guess, if you're going to get a free kill, but the Sand King by himself, which is the Blink Burrow Strike, doesn't do a lot of damage. It's really just the team at this point all setting up for Slark to do damage, for the Beastmaster to do damage with those Necro Books. If they aren't in a position to actually do their damage, then, you know, jumping in for a stun is almost a point.
Yeah. Alright, so now they might be looking for a mid lane push. Baby Knight, has he picked up anything special here? Is there anything special that you want to get?
Baby Knight, I mean,
he's known
just
for
completed
things.
his Shadow Blade. Should be a Hurricane Pike next for him. Oh, they'll get the Sand King though. That's pretty special.
Yeah, they'll get him in the midst of jungling. He was just trying to have his own private time. Noya, does he steal it? He does, so Burrow Strike is available for the Rubik, and that is huge to get. It will clear up the creep waves, and Noya gonna get hit by the question marks.
The Rubik now has a way of blindly hitting the Slark in when he's shadow dancing, which, you know, may or may not be entirely relevant, but I mean, it's Burrow Strike. You're never gonna say no to Burrow Strike. It may be situations where it'll like even be better than like stealing a Beastmaster Roar or something along those lines because of the cooldown being so low.
Top tower is under attack. Radiant's middle tower shouldn't have to take this abuse.
Slot starting to grow real huge here. Picks up an early BKB, and you know what this means, Mike? It's a shut down this game right now kind of idea.
Dire's bottom tower has
Towers will be traded. They caught the Beastmaster. He had no Force Staff though.
Pikachu in trouble. Yeah, gonna get caught. And yeah, can't afford to make too many mistakes against a Drow lineup. The IO did try to relocate in, so he's gonna come back out and probably feed his
Oh, he's
life.
trying the TP trick.
Does it work? It does! You have to time it so perfect. Yesterday we had this even better one where the Tidehunter was just TPing as a last resort. He got attacked by so many heroes, and then the Disruptor glimpsed him, so they all thought he was dead, so they left him there. And then he TP'd right as the iframe for the teleport scroll cropped, and he would dodge the glimpse. So that was even cooler.
Wow. I mean, it is so hard to do that. It is going to save the IO's life, which, you know, saving gold, saving experience, not really huge for an IO. It's, you know, more so the thought that counts, not giving the gold over to Imperial. But, yeah, certainly a display of skill. And Misha so far has been pretty much on point. The relocates haven't really been turbo aggressive. They're mostly been just defensive, save life kind of ultimates, but it always seems like he's tethered to the person who's taking the most damage. And that's exactly what you want to do, right? Just heal whoever's the focus.
Yeah, the scan does scout out someone farming in the Radiant jungle, so they think it's going to be that Drow Ranger. It might be just an Undying waiting for them, the Bat Rider waiting for them. Could be disastrous. They have good observer vision, taking a long way around. LTW has smoke so far. Alright, they're pushing in. Bat Rider doesn't see this. But Slark has the vision. Yeah, Slark has the vision. He smells blood. Be big. There you go. Joe gonna get caught out immediately by that Aurora, as well as that Burrow Strike. They find him. Comanche now going to town there. The Eclipse causing a lot of particle effect, but the Rock coming in with the chain up. Comanche doing so much damage. Noya about to fall here. He will burn down. Will he take down? LTW, yep, he does take down to that Warlock Rise. He get chased down here. The Lucer Beam though dropping very low. LTW, he stole the gem, so that might be an opportunity for him to actually back off. But LTW loses his life to the Lucer Beam. Pikachu going to pick up that gem, and Ayo buys back into the game a bit late.
Just trying to get in there to get Slark a little bit of extra juice. Doesn't actually happen. Tombstone drew a lot of attention there. Flesh Golem did a lot of work there for the Undying, but really the MVP was a two-man Burrow Strike from the Rubik to get onto the outskirts of the fight, and then everyone else from Imperial with their Force Stabs and Shadow Blades and whatnot were able to take down the IO immediately. So the IO got Burrow Struck and then just instantly killed off. And you know, Comanche were, you know, chasing around Bat Rider and killing off the Rubik and whatnot. But once that two-man Burrow Strike lands, like it lands really hard. That's time for Ace and for Baby Knight just sit back and right-click, and they do end up killing the Slark. So that is a 10-second BKB charge down the tubes. I thought like a 10-second BKB would just auto-win Comanche any given fight, but Imperial with perfect positioning almost to intercept that gank. And Sand King again, burrow striking in without proper follow-up to immediately get a kill is going to cost Comanche.
See if it does. But the Bat Rider, what do you want to see him pick up now?
For the Bat Rider,
he's got 4 staff, he's got his blink, you know, the standard stuff is done. You know, now that's when you go for the tech. Do you go for your Aether Lens, your eggs? You know, do you find something
Ags
to do with the slot? Heals?
I do like Ags on Bat Rider. It is incredible up against IO. I do think it's probably more important to build, kind of build bulk for the team. If you're able to, I mean, maybe not like a mechanism route, but pipe is kind of reasonable here. Maybe not the best. I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of threats for the Comanche side. If you're able to build a halberd, that'll be incredible. BKB again is pretty safe as an item pickup. Crimson Guard is not bad. Just some of these like aura-based supporty items, I would think, for the Bat Rider. But again, Ags is also pretty attractive here.
Oh, it looks like they are going for the wraparound. Imperial looking to turn this game on its head. LTW got to be the only one there right now. The nighttime comes in because of that Eclipse now deployed there by Ace. He has that BKB. The roar comes in, locking down targets. The Necro 3 going ham on this Drow Ranger. Will they find him? Yes, they do. Comanche now on a roll here, pushing forward for more damage. They lose their Warlock, they lose their Wisp, but they do get that Drow Ranger. And now Rise shoots down that Beastmaster. Overall, a draft win here for Team Imperial. The comeback is mounting.
That was just Eclipse into a Hurricane Pike in. And Comanche weren't expecting that, so they didn't have all their units popped up. So Ace got a pretty full Eclipse on just heroes. And also the Sand King, I think, botched his epicenter. He wasted a couple of pulses and then like burrow struck in to then dying in Rise and ultimately didn't do a lot. And actually these support heroes are getting the items I was just mentioning. So maybe for Joe, he can just get a Yule Scepter or something like that. But yeah, they do lose Baby Knight again. These fights are not free for Imperial, but they're surviving with enough relevant heroes to consider it a win, and they're slowly but surely taking down this BKB of the Slug.
Yeah, the Slug is still a concern, of course, with the early BKB. You really want to shut down the game, but so far Imperial are not letting that happen. So much AoE damage, so much aerial control. The Slug can't hope to get into the thick of things, and Rise is tailing Ace here like a pet dog. What's happening here?
Defensive power coming up for Imperial. Noya's building a hood into a pipe. Got the Rubik, who is going for a mechanism, but also he's got the null field at level 3, which is, I mean, for level 11 Rubik, that's not too unreasonable, but they are really focused at just keeping these core heroes alive by any means necessary.
Yeah, that's what I did mention as well. So right now, Roshan about to fall. He will slam. Is it gonna be enough? LTW. It's a lot of bloodlust, a lot of stats on him already. Doing a lot of shiving. He finds it. So H is done. Not the smoothest, but something.
And he has a Silver Edge. Just the minus damage component of Silver Edge is huge up against Drow Ranger and Luna. Deactivating their passives is just as large. So Slark is still a threat, but it does seem like over the course of these fights, it's looking like Slark is kind of the only threat here for Comanche. Like Pikachu is not able to get the Blink, Roar, Necrobook kickoff that usually you would expect from a Beastmaster at this stage, but Imperial again are just having the benefit of always 5-manning makes so that Beastmaster can't get those kills. Sand King can't really get cheesy kills by himself. Only the Slark really has enough sustained damage output and enough survivability to actually get kills in the thick of a 5v5.
Yeah. Alright, so now the group up here from Imperial, they are starting to slowly climb back. Net worth now favoring the Luna, LTW, Silver Edge, and a DD. Alright, it's gonna be in there. They find Rise, that's double damage that lashes him down with that pounce, and now the counterplay comes out. We have that Eclipse being deployed there on a singular target. The Wisp is removed from now, but Baby Knight gonna lose his life as well. So triple kill here for the Slug. Slug is having a field day here. No bashes available. Pikachu is gonna hit Buzz a little bit more, but still a very nice pickup here. And
that was literally Slark doing all the damage there.
Yeah.
Like no one else from Comanche.
He just needs someone
did any
to
damage.
bait out the control, and then he just owns.
Yeah, and they know that he has an Aegis also, so Imperial aren't going to be super eager to dump everything onto a Slark when he's just going to pop right back up. So Slark literally just goes and kills 3 heroes without really risking anything. And the rest of Comanche therefore have all their ultimates up. They have the Rock, they have the Roar, they have an Epicenter. Warlock ultimate is only level 1 despite him being level 11. Shouldn't really be a huge deal. They get a free tower. They still have the Aegis. They just need a couple seconds of Shadow Dance regen, then go back in.
Yeah, the Beastmaster very, very close there to showing his what? Oh no! Now the Luna not expecting this jump forward. Gonna get caught. He pops that BKB. Will be forced off away by his teammates. LTW getting control so far. The Rock comes down. That's gonna add more control here. The Roar on top of the Luna. The Luna still standing still, getting healed there by the Undying. Is there gonna be enough though? Fatal Bonds coming in, the leash jump forward, Ace in trouble there, he loses his life, that's the Luna down, 67 seconds on the sidelines, no buyback, and now the Epicenter coming in, it catches everyone, but Noya, they're all so tanky, the Batrider is there, but the Slark's just cleaning house here, he's just striking them all down, one by one, the Aegis still not used there, Comanche might lose that Aegis, yes they will, so the buyback on the Batrider, rises out of mana, and the Slark will choose the right thing and pounds away.
Not much good's happening to Radiant's bottom tower.
They
chasing
tag him
him.
with Frost and Gust. They have a gem. I think he's dead. He just can't get out of this.
Slark. Nice barrel strike. Once again, showing us why that Rubik pick is pivotal. And they lost it tier 3, but they do not lose Rax. Playing from behind.
Comanche just gunning straight for all these kills. They forced out 1 buyback out of this Batrider. I don't think anyone else bought back or died back or anything like that. So ultimately, that's again a pretty reasonable fight for Imperial. They take out all these BKB charge on Slark. They pull out all of the enemy ultimates. Yeah, it does cost them a buyback on the Batrider, but we were just talking about earlier, he doesn't really need anything else compared to what he has right now. As long as he's able to hold the gem, and he does still have the gem, Imperial are able to take these engagements. Losing a tier 3 at this stage in the game doesn't really mean all that much. It's more important to look at what the enemies have cooldown wise. Now they have another lasso with Pikachu in their sights.
Looking for it, they find him. There's the Beastmaster, it is their initiator. They want to lock him down, but once again the Wisp going to be spoiling fun, and the aggression is curbed for now. But Misha taking quite a bit of damage here. The Drow Ranger firing in. There's the Blink Barrel Strike. He's going to find a Batrider, but the Wisp just stands there idly, gets himself caught. Another Glaive coming in. The Imperial starting to turn this game on its head. 3 down so far. Comanche only having 2 supports, 1 semi-core left to defend the wave. And they can't, I mean, there's Fatal Bonds, but it's not going to work fast enough, and neither will.
Slark's back, but Slark really needs a Warlock Rock if he's going to go in and get kills easily.
Oh, it's going
he
in.
He needs to not go for Ace, because he's the most difficult hero to kill here.
Yeah, well, they're all walking through the upheaval, so there's that. But Aces, not going to be fooled as easily as that BKB. He hasn't even used it. And now he will. Silence here, coming out here on the Slark. They're trying to get an easy pick, but Imperial claim a Rax already. And looks like they will not be greedy. They will be backing off. The invisibility does show LTW a little bit too transparent in his ideals though. The BKB is now going to find the Rubik. They're going to be striking really hard there. But now the Rock is going to be dropping it once again. The BKB is deployed there. The Drow Ranger stays alive. The Fate Ball goes across, but they're losing heroes. They lose the Drow. There's the Epicenter coming in here for the Dire. They're just doing so much damage. Joe gonna fall. Noya as well. There's going to be right click coming up from Ace, but is there going to be enough? No, it isn't. Pikachu with the triple. They lose their Undying, and now it's 5 heroes there on the sidelines in the grave. Comanche. It's an excellent team fight. Stay alive.
And the Slark is just using his spells and his abilities so calmly, like Shadow Dance, never overlapping with BKB, which is something we see quite often with Slark to just get a little bit too excited in these fights. But no, he's using all that uptime, almost invulnerability, pretty much perfectly. Epicenter comes in, Warlock ultimate with already Fatal Bonds set up on a couple heroes beforehand. And Imperial actually don't have any buybacks. The Luna just bought out for her Butterfly. Drow Ranger has bought out for the Silver Edge.
What's happening?
So Rax is
gone,
traded, and they're not done yet. I think they could get this tier 2. That's probably about it. But Imperial failing to make a clean retreat there is going to cost them a lot.
Yeah, they only got 1 melee Rax on 1 lane, but still.
Radiant's top tower has fallen.
Well, we'll see what happens here. Sankey jumping very deep in there. There's the roar to follow up as well. And dying might not be getting out of this one. There is the pushback with that gust. The mechanism and the soul rip to keep things alive. But the Beastmaster is down. And so is the Warlock following him. There is a Ghost Scepter. He's going to try and TP out of this. The lose the beam already used. So Chu going to pour it out of there. Very skillful. Gets out of there in time. And well, 25-30. Comanche in the lead. Oh, Ayu getting popped.
And these two heroes that just went down do have buyback, so Comanche aren't going to have any sort of immediate backlash here. It is certainly getting to be a very close game. This Slark is still the biggest problem for Imperial. He's got a Butterfly now with no MKB on the Imperial side, no way of playing through that evasion, so it is, again, a pretty large problem, but man, look at these items from the Imperial side. They, of course, have the pipe on the Undying, but Rubik also has a Vlad's. It's an incredible item to have with a Luna and Drow on your side if he's actually able to stay alive. Starting to think that, I mean, even though Vlad's is great, I can't help but feel that Ghost Scepter for Rise's survivability might just be a little bit better.
Okay. There's a lot of magic going around though.
I mean, there is a lot of magic, but there's a lot of Slark
Oh, what?
also.
Whoa, the slap! I saw him on a minimap. Is there a cause for concern? There is. Imperial immediately stick up together and go back to the little rendezvous point. Oh, Chu.
Joe went for Shivas.
Chu's 7 and
Claiming
3 in
items
this
are all
roll
good.
Said.
Shiva's guard to... It pretty much just counters the Beastmaster in a beast, or at least as much as you can.
Oh. Those are the things, and now the lasso gonna start on a target. It's gonna be, yep, it's going to be. Oh no, it's gonna be relocated down. I was looking for that death timer. Pikachu gonna bailed out by Spuddy. Now the roll comes in onto the Bat Rider, but there are a lot of BKBs being activated. LTW taking huge hits here. The Slark goes into the Shadow Dance, but immediately knocked out. And without that buyback, he's in a lot of trouble. The epicenter is there, but it does absolutely nothing. The Rubik, the Mech, the Undying, just keeping things alive. And there's two heroes now without buyback. Misha on the run here, but all the heavy hitters are down. Ronson just gonna be pushing that Ayu, and the good game comes out. Chu, well, they called it, and after taking a huge Rex win here in the middle lane, Imperial just swing around with a huge team fight and knock out Comanche of game number 1.
Slark doesn't have his back up there. It was at a certain point in that fight just Slark trying to take down the Tombstone first of all, and then everything else after.
I mean, when you dedicate
Imperial
your
Batrider just doing his job.
Yeah, when you dedicate your slot to hitting those tombstones, that's when it gets rough. The bird coverage, you know, I didn't really monitor the bird coverage. Was it good on the Beastmaster that game? Did he really cover all the exits and stuff? Watch out for that Bat Rider coming from a distance. Or I mean, it could have been all the ganks were smoked, right?
I mean, the Beastmaster, he was in a corner. I think his bird was right above him. And then, like, Hessa Joe just saw him, and Pete probably saw him at the same time, and Hessa Joe just got the jump there,
Right.
I think.
Yeah, this game was actually quite back and forth until Comanche made a huge mistake, and they just got punished all the way. And this is the power of the Drow lineup, you know, doesn't forgive mistakes. And well, Comanche are gonna have one more game to prove themselves, or otherwise they're going home from the D2CL. And for you guys that are just tuning in, you're watching the D2CL Season 9, powered by Epic Esports Events, as well as Face It. There's the best of threes. We have 2 best of 3 today, Imperial Comanche, and then after that, at a later time, we will have Team Empire versus S+4, right? No, wait. Is that S+4?
I don't know. I don't really know what that S stands for.
Yeah, the hard to pronounce word. I think I linked it.
Skorohad.
Yeah,
Flip
Skorohad.
side.
Yeah. So yeah, X flip side versus Empire after this. For now, stay with us. We'll be back for game number 2, Comanche and Imperial. I'm gonna try and hope that the server thing doesn't bug me again. I'll restart my Dota. But yeah, we'll try and get that sorted out for game number 2. But stay with us, guys. You're watching D2CL. See you in a bit.